Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 10 of the Supercheap Auto East Coast V8 series. I'm John Van Ree, flying solo at the moment tonight. We'll see who drops in a bit later. Just a quick one out there. Round 10, we're not too far away from getting to the end of the race. We had a couple of last late-minute withdrawals and a couple of last-minute entries, which we'll talk about in a minute, which we'll try and go through as we go through our pre-race startup. So, of course, tonight we're coming to you from the one and only Sonoma Raceway, which is located approximately north of San Francisco on the shores of the bay. Quite a intricate little spot on California. Had the pleasure of driving past this place, and just to the north of this place is Napa, and if you're an absolute motorsport enthusiast, I'd recommend you drop into Mario Andretti's vineyard. Plenty of motorsport memorabilia on the wall there, and much better than the wine. Mind you, Mario's winery did have a very nice Sangiovese. Of course, this circuit is 4.07 kilometres long, has 11 turns. We start down on the start-finish straight. We sweep up the hill under the banner, and then we come up through the blind turn right at turn 2, and then we take another bite in the cherry to go up through turn 3 and 3A, where we come up to the top, and then we start descending downhill, sweeping through turn 4, through the big sweeping turn 5, and then we take the big horseshoe around turn 6, where we dip onto the dragway and head up to turn 7, which is a double apex corner. And then after turn 7, we then come through the fast sweepy section through the back of the circuit, through turns 8, 8A, turn 9, where we then got to brake a little bit for turn 10, and then we come down into the big hairpin at turn 11, one of the big overtaking parts for this circuit. Now, this is a Sonoma Cup layout, and the record holder on iRacing when I did these figures on Sunday night was Jamie Masciuto, who unfortunately due to work commitments isn't racing in this series this year. But Jamie had a 132.131. And yeah, it's a very intricate little circuit. It's going to be quite interesting to see how these boys all deal with what they got to work with here. And while we're running through things, I haven't got any update to the championships. Fortunately, Ash got busy this week, so the points haven't been updated. But it is quite an intense battle at the top after we get past Adam Briggs, our championship leader, who consolidated his lead. And, of course, James Scott comes up the order, and I believe we're just about due for drop rounds, I think. So hopefully we'll get those carried over into the figures shortly. And while we're working our way through things, we might jump into qualifying for tonight. And big turn up for the books is the fact my screen's not the right order. Quickly flick through. And, of course, the big turn up for the books tonight, and the wrong information at top. This is round 10, but our qualifying results, Black Wall Boys is on pole. Michael Pickle Schreier second. Great effort from Michael to pip a lot of his teammates, with Kenny Ladder in third, Damien Johnson in fourth, Adam Briggs in fifth. Paul Young sits in sixth tonight with a 129.9. Christian Smart in 7. Tom Freer, who's a last late-minute withdrawal from this evening, has had to back out. Jamie Dyke from Fishy Motorsports in 9th. Harrison Dengate makes himself into the top 10, along with Blake Delaney from Fishy Motorsports in 11. So looking at some really good results here in that sense from Blake. And then Craig Schultz from the 9.5 Sim Sports in 12th. Jamie Chastanoof in 13th. 14th is Dave Coleman. 15th is Ben Morris. Michael Whiting from Fishy in 16. Alan Dawson from Wright in 17. Michael Brennan back after a few work commitments from the 9.5 Sim Sport in 18. Then I got Dave Kirby back from Fishy in 19th, having a great drive in the V8 Vets this season in Split 1. David Nash from Wright Sim Racing in 20th. Matty Scholes from Wright in 21st. Jamie, the People's Champion McKnight from Synergy Sim Racing in 22nd, a long way back in front of his compatriot teammate Stephen Varga in 23rd. Watch out for those two. That will be an epic battle in itself. to see what those two can get up to. Matty Stewart from Vast Motorsports in 24th in front of Matty Whitaker from Calamari Racing. And then we have Paul Burns from Bogan Racing and Ash Barella all the way back in 27th. A bit disappointing, that result. We've got Warren Davis, 007 in 28th from the Banter Alliance, and Brad Doble from Bogan Racing in 29th. Andrew Ritchie in 30th position for Banter, just in front of Roy Clark. I think Andrew Chervo Jones would be a bit disappointed with that one. I think you'd expect to be a little bit further up the track than Roy. And in 32nd, we've got Darren Shannon from the Banter Alliance, and then we've got Craig Wasley from CAW Racing, Andrew Archer from the Backmarker Boys in 34th in front of teammate Nicholas Loveridge. And then we've got Jason Scholia from Century Motorsports, Peter Pavlich from Century Motorsports, and then the first of my rear grid drivers is Hayden Norris. And I can confess the next rear grid driver we've got is Century Motorsports' Cameron G. Jones. And then this is where it gets exciting. The man, the myth, the legend, Corey Mcfarlane, our current champion of Season 2, is back again to race tonight from rear grid with the number 1 on the car. It'll be very interesting to see how Corey goes. Of course, doing quite well in Scops as well, so expect to see some plenty of pace there. We've got Synergy Sim Racing's Matthew Brunt back in the rear grid as well. And then after that, we also have Andrew Dyson from simrig.com DPR. And behind him, we've got Chris Island in 623 bringing up the rear. So we've got quite a hefty field tonight. Got some big hitters up the back, some big hitters in the middle, and Blake Warboys from WK&P on pole. And, of course, big shout-out to Mary Partridge, Harrison's grandmother, watching on tonight, cheering the boys on. And Tracy Warboys has just made it home in time from the Gold Coast, just so that she can cheer on Blake. So definitely plenty happening tonight. And we are not too far away from getting into the action, as we just... So, yep, we're not far, and should only be another 7 minutes until the boys get going. Running a little bit late tonight due to a server mix-up, courtesy of the series host. Got to add in race control and also forgot to add in the safety car. So, of course, the safety car tonight is being driven again, I believe, by Richie Barella. And then in race control, we've got our chief steward, Seb, and Dave Worrell in there to give the boys a hand. So not a huge grid, looking at about 38 cars, but I think it's going to be quite full on to see how these boys cope with this very demanding, tight circuit. And of course, it is, as I said before, we're in the Napa area. This basically 100 k's up the road, or 250 k's up the road from where we were last week at Laguna Seca, on the other side of the Wide Bay area. Definitely a very popular track for Californians, this one. And it'll be very interesting to see how we go with that. And while we've got a minute, we might just take an opportunity to throw in a quick commercial break. And we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
Of course, a big thank you to Supercheap Auto for sponsoring the series. And we thought, since we've got a few minutes left, I thought I might take the opportunity to bring in our pole sitter and have a quick chat to Blake Warboys. How are you, Blake?
A little bit stressed at the moment, but that's all right.
A little bit stressed. I expect the adrenaline will be starting to rise. What are your expectations, mate? What are you looking for in these first couple of laps?
Well, if I make the start of the race, because I'm having some computer issues at the moment.
Ooh, I might let you go then.
It's all right. It's all right. I can talk and try and figure it out. But yeah, assuming I get everything up and running, hopefully good few couple of corners, try and build a gap while these faster blokes are sort of buried in the field behind. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. Got a pretty good setup under us. Me, H and Ash feel quite comfortable, so we'll see how we go.
No worries, mate. I'll send you back downstairs and let you deal with your issues.
Thank you.
No worries, mate. There you go. You heard it straight up. Computer issues for War Boys. Could we see our pole sitter miss the start? This could be very, very interesting. Already got very things ticking over before we even get going, which is quite scary. Of course, if you're following along at home, don't be scared to jump into the comments. Let us know who you're following. Let us know who you're supporting, and we'll try and get a bit of a cheer out to them. Let you know how they're all travelling tonight. So we still have approximately 2.5 minutes to go before we get onto the grid. And just looking at the times going around at the moment, the best lap time so far in practice has been a 1:30.33 from Corey Mcfarlane. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes coming through the traffic. And we also will be looking forward to seeing how things happen, whether Warboys can get his computer issues fixed and sorted. So that adds to a little bit of the drama. So, of course, Dave Baldock out there wants to hear Roy Clark before the race start. We might just quickly do that, just for you. And how are we, Roy? Very quickly up in the comm box, mate. What's your expectations from tonight? Dave Baldock wants to know.
There's no expectations, mate. I've found more speed than I've had here before, but I'm still at the back of the field. So just try and keep it on the track. Try to make as little mistakes as I can. Is Nath racing? Am I safe?
You're safe. No Nathan tonight. No,
Okay,
no
cool.
racing Nathan. No commentary Nath. Apparently someone swiped left on Tinder, right on Tinder for him, apparently.
Oh, well, I know what I would have chosen. It wouldn't be to be here, I'll tell you that much.
Anyway, I'll let you go.
Looking like
Yep.
Blake's going to be struggling to take pole by the looks of it at the moment.
Yes, computer issues. That's the word.
So I could beat him, so could be a good night before we even get off the grid.
Absolutely. Anyway, good luck. Wish all the Banner boys
Thanks, mate.
good luck from us up here, and hopefully you'll have a good night, and I'll be speaking to you at the end.
No worries, mate. Talk to you
No
later.
worries. Thanks, Roy.
Okay, bye.
There you go. That was for you, Dave Baldock and Ben Anthony. Modern marvels of modern technology. So, of course, we are now just about ready to get going. So not too much longer now. Of course, Dave Baldock recovering from a stint of COVID. Hopefully he's back at vets this week. It was sorely missed this week. Fortunately, didn't give much cannon fodder for the boys in the driver's lounge on Friday night. As we now go to the grid, so we'll have a quick look at how everyone's going to line up again for a last time and see if I've missed anybody as I've gone through. So we'll switch to the grid. So on pole at this stage, depending on computer issues, we've got Blake Warboys with Pickles Schreier sitting in second, the safety car driver from Logitech Pro Series. Big fan of Michael. And then third, we've got Synergy Sim Racing's Kenneth Ladder, Damien Johnstone in fourth, Adam Briggs in fifth. So the Synergy boys, a few of them missing, which I'll talk about a bit later. Paul Young sitting there from the BAR boys in 6th. 7th, we've got Christian Smart. 8th, we've got Jamie Dyke from Fishy Motorsports. 9th, Harrison Dengate. 10th, we've got Blake Delaney from Fishy Motorsports. Craig Schultz from 9.5 Sim Sports in 11th. James Chastanoof rounds out our top 12. And then after that, we've got Dave Coleman from Fishy Motorsports. Then we've got Benny Morris from 9.5. Michael Whiting from Fishy in 15th. Alan Dawson, 16th. 17, Michael Brennan. And then after that, we have after Michael Brennan, we have Dave Kirby from Fishy Motorsports. Dave Nash from Wright in 19th. 20th, Michael Scholes. 21st, Jamie, the People's Champion McKnight. Got to watch him coming back from outside the top 20. Expect big things from Jamie tonight. 22nd, we have Stephen Varga. 23rd, we have Matty Stewart with Bogan's Paul Burns back in 24th. Then after that, we've got Ash Barella from WK&P in 25th. A long way back for Ash. We can see if he can fight his way back up with that one. Warren Davis sitting in 26th from the Banter Alliance. Brad Doble in 27th from Bogans. Andrew Ritchie in 28th in front of Roy Clark, who we just spoke to. Darren Shannon sitting back in 30th. Craig Wasley in 31st. Andrew Archer 32nd. Nicholas Loveridge in 33rd. Aidan Norris. Cameron G. Jones. Our current champion, Corey Mcfarlane from Send It Sim Sports. And then we have Andrew Dyson from Sinrig.com DPR, Chris Island from Send It Sim Sports, Seb, our race control, and Richie Barella, our safety car driver. So the boys are still making their way to the grid. Still haven't seen War Boys grid up yet. That'll be very interesting to see. Still got probably about 30 seconds. Not looking good, though, I don't think. I think War Boys might be about to miss the start. As we work our way through. Oh, he's there. War Boys is on. War Boys has made his way on. And we're about 15 seconds out here. So good luck to all the drivers. We are shaping up for an absolute cracker of the Supercheap Auto East Cape V8 Series Round 10, coming to you live from Sonoma Raceway. And we are gridding one. Darren Shannon's jumped to the pits already, so not sure what's wrong there. We've got 5 reds, green flag racing. We're away. War Boys gets the jump. Someone's a bit slower down the back. Not sure who that was. Looks like War Boys is going to hold his own. We're going 3 wide, a bit deeper back there. War Boys gets clear. We've got Ladder and Schreier fighting it out. Adam Briggs, our championship leader, coming up behind there. Very tight gapping. Got a bit of a spread on the road as we start to duck into single file. War Boys heading out to a 0.6 lead already. But Ladder getting in front of Schreier is a talking point at the moment. Christian Smart having a bit of a look in there. And Adam Briggs as well. Schreier dropping back a little bit here off the start. A little bit disappointing, but I'm sure a long way to go with 62 laps. But War Boys at the moment starting to pull away a bit from Ladder. As, of course, we're running the Cup circuit, so we come up the old speedway. The old dragway, sorry. And we come through this double apex. And War Boys looking quite good here. We might see if we can pick up some battling back on. Ben Morris is already up 3 spots. Michael Whiting in front of him is already up 5 spots. So a few good little battles there. Schreier's worked his way back to 4th. He's lost 2 spots already. Paul Young's lost 9 spots. I'm not sure what's happened to Paul. And, of course, Corey Mcfarlane is already up 19 spots. So that's a pretty impressive start from Corey. Hey, not sure what's happened there. We'd have to go and have a look at that one. As he makes up another spot here and moves up 20 spots on the first lap. So obviously got a cracking start. Did Mcfarlane? And jump back up the front. Kenny Ladder still under all sorts of pressure now from our championship leader, Adam Briggs. Michael Schreier hanging off the back there. So the 3 Synergy Sim Sport drivers, nose to tail, with Damien Johnstone, so 4, 5 with Smart. War Boys is already out to a 1.3 second gap. So he did like his setup. He did say it was quick. So we'll see how it goes handling fuel and tyres, but definitely making a ways by himself at the moment. And we might keep scrolling through. Have a look at some of the other battles a bit further back. Mcfarlane is now putting some pressure on Paul Young. They're definitely showing the pace that he showed to be the champion. Very good drive from Corey. Make up in 2 laps to make up 20 spots. There's nothing to be sneezed at. Chris Island's up 10 spots already as well, a little bit further back. Brent has a little bit of a look on Paul Young in front. Paul obviously involved in something a little bit. Alan Dawson here's under a little bit of pressure as well. We might just quickly jump to that camera. Side by side, driving, coming up the hill, and manages to hold on. Also under pressure from Blake Delaney behind. These cars are a handful on most tracks. And the Sonoma is no expectation to the difference of that. It's fast and flowing, but has a lot of curbs you can hit. Unsettle the car. And some interesting braking points. There's this time it looks like we get through. And I just noticed Harrison Dengate and Chris Smart side by side. So Harrison having a look over the veteran driver. Trying to make his way past. And Jamie Dyke from Fishy Motorsport tucked in behind Dengate as well. Interesting story. Harrison in the Commodore tonight instead of the Mustang. So I'm sure that would enrage a few supporters out there. Instead of being in the blue Mustang, he's in the WK&P green, sorry, WK&P blue Commodore. As we continue on lap 4, we're starting to settle down a little bit now. Might have a look a bit further back. Stephen Varga is up 1 spot. He's under all sorts of pressure in this train here. Chasing down Ash Barella in front of these boys. Ash is up 6 spots off that start. It's a fair effort from Ash. Of course, the new father. Welcome to the world a week or so ago, young Hunter. So the lack of sim time is probably explaining his poor qualifying. But definitely making up for it on the track tonight. And Harrison Dengate and Chris Smart still going toe-to-toe. This time Harrison's passed, I think, which is allowing Jamie Dyke now to have a look at Chris Smart. And Warboys is out to a 1.5 second lead already. And our top 5 have definitely pulled away from this battling pack here. So 5 laps already in the books. 2 compulsory pit stops tonight. So fuel strategy will be quite interesting. I think this is a circuit where an undercut can pay off. As we've got a drive-through penalty for Dave Coleman on lap 64 for contact with 62. 623. Might just see if we can find that in our system. Didn't see that one happen. And might be this one with Dave Coleman. Might just go to the Supercheap Auto replay. Oh, yes, bit of touch there. Oh, end of the side. Yep. That's the fishy car involved in that one. And then a bit of a nose-to-nose stare down. And we get going again. So that's why we have the drive-through penalty. As Jamie Dyke still under pressure from Craig Schultz behind. We might go have a look at another battle. Blake Delaney, of course. He's just been passed by Corey Mcfarlane. He's up 24 spots now into 12th. Definitely flying is young Corey. Definitely showing all the pace and skill that he showed when he won the championship last season. And we might go a little bit further back as well. Two other of our back markers started rear grid, Andrew Dyson and Cameron Jones, having a great battle here as they come and get past Ash Barella. Ash playing it smart and giving him a wide berth, let him through. Was for position, probably should have had his elbows out a bit more, but lives to fight another day. Another one of our back markers was Hayden Norris. He's fighting his way. He's up 7 spots with Nicholas Loveridge behind and Paul Burns in front. Putting a move on Paul here. Trying to get the job done. Nice side-by-side racing. Not sure who that is in front. I think that's Warren Davis mowing a bit of grass. A great little battle. Might jump back up front again, check on Kenny Latta. Kenny Latta still under a bit of pressure from Michael Schreier, who seems to have regathered after losing a few spots on the start. Damien Johnstone sitting in behind these guys in 5th. Dengate a further 3 seconds back in 6th. And we've also got a post-race penalty for Dave Coleman for an unsafe rejoin as well. So definitely in the wars. I'd say that would have to do with the accident we looked at just before. So race control already been kept quite busy this evening. Plenty going on as we are on lap 7 of 62. Corey Mcfarlane now putting pressure on Ben Morris. The 9.5er and the Senate Sim Sports driver going too wide. Corey getting the job done. Moves Corey now up into 11th. Next target, Michael Whiting. Ben Morris not going quietly into the night though, keeping the pressure on. And behind Ben, we've got Blake Delaney from Fishy Motorsports. Blake having a good hard look in here as well. We might just jump back to another battle pack. Hayden Norris now putting all sorts of pressure on Steve Varga. And Varg's looking like he's been quite well composed. A little bit of slip angle there. It's allowed for Hayden to get a quicker exit. But of course, this back part of the circuit with the sweeping left-right corners, very difficult to overtake on. Went 3 wide behind in the back there. And it looks like David Nash has got the job done with Paul Burns and Warren Davis. Nice big passing move. Warboy's now starting to come under a bit of pressure though. Adam Briggs has turned up the wick, our championship leader, chasing down our season 1 championship winner. Of course, Briggsy, the former driver of the series at the moment. Doing very well. And of course, if you're watching at home on the stream, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know who you're supporting. We'll let you know how they're travelling. I might just jump on board with Adam Briggs. As you can see, we come up top of the hill here, and then we come across the crest. Have another dip down and look up again onto a blind crest again as we come through the right-hand corner. Use the curb a little bit, then back down, brake hard, bring it back down, get ourselves around the corner. Then we've got the first of 2 sweeping turns. As we go into 5th gear, then we back it off. Measure it back into 3rd. Wait for it. Get on the gas, up the dragway. Change it up to 5th. Into 6th. Then back on the brakes again for the double apex here, which would be good. You'll just treat it as one corner. Get it correct. Back on the gas from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Then back to 4th. Drive it through those 2 slower corners. Back on the gas again, down the hill. Right through 5th into 6th. Back it off, sweep around on the right-hander. Use all the curb, get out on the curb on the end, try not to use any of the dust. Then on the brakes, watch out for the tyres on the inside. And then get on the power as early as we can. And we sweep back up the start-finish straight, across the start-finish line. Back up under the bridge. And then up into the blind turn 1. So she's a tough little track, this one. Very tough. Of course, these 2 boys now are out to a 4.5, 5 second gap from Kenny Ladder back in 3rd. As we're on lap 10 of 62, so still a fair way to go for these guys. Briggs looking very racy here. I think he'll be sizing more boys up, having a good hard look, trying to see where he can get on. And we might just leave these guys for a minute. Just have a quick look back. Michael Whiting is having a great little battle here. He's chasing down Craig Schultz in front and has Ben Morris behind. And Michael Schreier, sorry, it's been a pass. Briggs has gotten the lead, I think. Thought he might have stayed in behind Blake for a little bit longer, but we're too wide across the start-finish stripe. As we continue on, Briggs is in front. Jump back to the other battle I was about to look at, which was Michael Schreier. He was having a look on Damien Johnstone a second ago. And doing quite well. We might just jump a bit further down, have a quick look at the People's Champion, Jamie McKnight. Jamie battling away. Got a little bit of clear air in front and behind. Andrew Dyson's up into 19th. He's already up 18 spots. He's latched onto the back of James Chastaneuf. Looking quite racy there as well. And of course, Chassis hunting down McKnight in front. So Dyson gets through on Chastaneuf. Shapes up for, we might just go to this battle here. This battle's here. Sorry, Dyson was chasing up for McKnight. Oh, locks up the brakes, pulls it up the inside of his teammate. Looks like Ben Morris is going to get past Schultz here. 295 cars side by side. And McKnight on the comms. Not sure what's going on there. Of course, said a few of our regular names missing tonight because they've got duties tomorrow night with the Supercar E Series, which is being televised on Fox Sport and KO. So good luck to a few of the boys. I know one of the drivers who regularly drives in our series, Brenton Hobson, who will be racing in the Cash Converters entry. Be good to see how Brenton goes. Fast enough driver as it is, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes in the shorter sprint race format, what the E-Series is. And that's Chastity getting the job done on McKnight. McKnight dropping back a few spots here. As we might just bounce back up to the front. Kenny Ladder, who's sitting 5 seconds back from Blake Warboys. He's still under pressure from Johnson and Schreier. So the Synergy Sim boys here, got a bit of a train going. And then behind this group, we've got Harrison Dengate lapping some traffic. While Harrison's in no man's land here with a 3.5 second gap up the road, and then Dave Coleman behind him. Of course, Harrison up 3 spots. The man behind Harrison's the interesting one. That's Corey Mcfarlane, absolutely flying. Let's just see how that pans out with his fuel strategies and tyre usage. Surely you'd have to be damaging the car a little bit by now. As Jamie McKnight now has been passed by Cameron Jones. A little bit of a struggle for McKnight tonight, I think. Yeah, we might work our way back. Stephen Vargas in 20 seconds, where he started. A couple of other little battles. Barella's down 3 spots in the 28th. But he's hunting down, just getting past a very loose Nicholas Loveridge there. And Nicholas Loveridge now is under a bit of pressure from Roy Clark, who we spoke to a bit earlier before the start of the race. Big fan favourite of Dave Baldock is Roy. Doing very well. Keeping the pressure up there. Might just check back in on the front. Briggs is 0.3 seconds of a second ahead of Warboys. Warboys nicely tucked in behind here. Doing reasonably well. Then we've got another 5 second gap back to Kenny Ladder in this little battle of 3 here with teammates Ladder, Johnston and Schreier. These boys doing quite well. Then we up back again after that. You've got Corey Mcfarlane, who's just passed Christian Smart. This is back in 7 and 8. You can see Jamie Dyke trying to latch onto the back of Christian Smart now. And we're sort of starting to get towards the end of this first stint, so not too much further to go, I don't think. And so a few of these boys will be fairly light on fuel and the tyres will be starting to hurt a little bit. Very tough track to look after tyres with a lot of the flowing, fast, sweeping corners.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
Of course, now that cheeky little Supercheap Auto ad. Slip another one of those in tonight. And we continue on here with 15 laps of 62, so nearly approaching the 1/3 race distance. So don't forget, 2 compulsory pit stops. Is a strategy that we all have to race to. So the boys doing relatively well here. We've all sort of spread out a bit. Couple of battles still going on. James Chastaneath here putting all sorts of pressure on Michael Brennan in front of him. And then trying to deal with Cameron Jones behind. Of course, the side of the Chastaneath car there looking very second-hand. There's been a bit of panel swapping going on earlier on in the race. And we might just have a quick look a bit further back. Alan Dawson about to come under some pressure here from Andrew Dyson, who gets past him quite easily. Moves Andrew Dyson now up 22 spots into 15th. They're doing relatively well. And another battle going on a bit further back, of course, is Paul Burns and Andrew Archer. These guys are still going toe-to-toe. Then teammate Andrew Archer getting involved in the battle here as well, Nicholas Loveridge. Some nice driving there from those boys. Kenny Ladder now starting to feel a bit more pressure from Damien Johnstone. Treya latching onto the back of this group still. Treya just battling his way here, having a good look, see where he can park it. Johnston having a good look at Kenny Ladder in front. So some good driving here. It's Energy Sim Racing boys. We're keeping it clean, looking after each other. And we might just drop back a little bit. Cameron Jones still hunting down James Chastaneath in front of him. And speaking of hunting down, our current series champion, Corey Mcfarlane, sitting in 7th, up 29 spots, having a good hard look at Harrison Dengate in front of him now. Harrison getting a little bit loose there. It's opened the door up. Mcfarlane gets the quicker exit. Goes to the outside, which becomes the inside. And looks like he's about to get the job done. Mcfarlane moves up now into 6th position. Have to start to think, though, those tyres will be looking a bit second-hand. He's done a lot of hard work to get this far up. And Cameron Jones will jump back to this battle here. He's still trying to get past Chasty. Some good driving from the Banter Alliance driver. So of course, we've got 18 laps now of 62. Long way to go to get home for these boys. We're starting to see a few of the boys come into the pits. Dave Coleman's already rolled in on lap 16. Steve Vargas had an off track. Might have a quick look at the Supercheap Auto replay and see what happened to Vargas. Coming in here a little bit hot. Taken to the grass. The old bridging the Stratton out and coming back onto the track. So nice and neat and tidy. So the boys are starting to spread a bit. Kenny Ladder's still the man under pressure from his teammate Damien Johnstone. This is for the battle for third and fourth. Of course, we've got Schreier sitting right behind these guys. And then we go further 4 seconds back down the road, we've got Mcfarlane. So Mcfarlane sitting at about 4.3 seconds behind this group. That's his next target up the road. As Johnstone has a look here on the ladder. Doesn't get it done, tucks it back in behind. Sizes him up, tries the title line exit. Can't get the power down quick enough though. Kenny Ladder would have to be starting to feel the pressure here from his teammate. Short from team boss Jordan Ross that these guys don't have team orders. So plenty happening. Might jump on. Blake Delaney's another one under a bit of pressure here. Or putting a bit of pressure on, on Craig Schultz. Andrew Dyson, the Simrig DPR driver, up 23 spots in 14th, sitting behind these guys. He'd be looking to try and get a bit further up. There's a couple of boys going to the pits now. We've got Chastaneef and Varga in the pits and Asperella. As a DPR car gets past here, Andrew Dyson sneaks through on Blake Delaney. Sets his target now on the next guy in front, which is Craig Schultz. Has a bit of a look up the inside here already. Almost gets the job done. Very difficult part of the track to try and get overtaking done though, as we come through the sweeping section of left-right corners. Down what we're known as the back straight. And some good balanced, steady driving. Craig Schultz having an absolute cracker here tonight. A great pass there from Andrew Dyson. So good little battle. Cameron Jones and Hayden Norris are in the pits now. Might just quickly jump onto the Warren Davis-Nash battle going on here. A little bit deep there from Nash. Opens the door up for Warren Davis. Get the job done. Looking good, Warren. If you're following along at home, don't be scared. Type something in the chat. Let us know you're supporting. We'll tell you how they're getting on. As we're on now lap 21 of 62, so expecting to start to see a few more of these boys come into the pits shortly. As Mcfarlane's now closed that gap down to 3 seconds, so he's already made a second up on Schreier in front of him. And then Johnstone and Ladder, these three boys from Synergy Sim Racing, absolutely going toe-to-toe still at a cracking pace. As the backmarker racing boys have come into the pits. So it's Dengate, Dyke, Whiting and Morris. So some interesting strategy starting to unravel. A few boys going, possibly going the undercut, as you could probably go a couple of more laps. But of course, Warboys in second spot is 6.4 seconds up the road from these guys, who's 3 seconds behind Adam Briggs already, our championship leader. Corey Mcfarlane is the impressive one, coming from the rear of grid up 30 spots. So is Andrew Dyson. Darren Shannon ends the pits, and Adam Briggs has peeled off to the pits now. So Warboys follows. Warboys into the wall. A little bit hot coming in pit lane. Hopefully hasn't done too much damage to the car doing that. Trying to match Briggs as he came in. It's damaged the car. That'll be a turn up for the books. As Kenny Ladder continues on the next lap. As Johnstone comes in. Mcfarlane stays out. Schreier stays out. That means Michael Schreier moves into second. Mcfarlane from rear of grid now into third. Chris Smart up 3 spots into fourth. They're starting to see some of the movers and shakers. Our leading car that's pitted so far is Ben Morris. They've been still a fair way back as he's coming down into the hairpin shortly. A long way to go here for Ben. I expect to see Warboys and Co. keep going. So at the moment, we've got Kenny Ladder, Schreier, Mcfarlane, Smart, Dyson, Delaney, McKnight have not pitted. Adam Briggs is the first man on track. He's just come out from pitting. Warboys is on his way out. He stays in second spot. Ben Morris has jumped Damien Johnstone and Michael Whiting and Jamie Dyke. So some big moves and shakers in that first pit stop there. As we're on lap 23 at 62. They'll be expecting to see the race pan out a little bit now. Roy Clark still in the pits. And we've had an incident. Paul Byrne has come off. We'll have a quick look what's happened to Paul Byrne from Bogan Racing. Supercheap Auto replay. Come in. One of the Century boys. Oh, looks like one of the Banner Alliance boys has given a little tap. So that one might keep the stewards a little bit busy. Not sure which driver that was at the time. Based on the long stop, it could have been Roy Clark. He's now just left the pits as we go back to live pictures. Kenny Ladder is the next man into the pits as Schreier continues on his merry way as the leader. So Michael, of course, used to being the leader in the Logitech G Pro Series as the safety car driver. Showing he's got the pace to cut it with most of these boys himself. Let's have a bit of a look through the pack. See how Stephen Varga's getting on. He's in a bit of a battle here with Andrew Ritchie in front of him. So Varga's putting a lot of pressure on that Banter Alliance car. That's a look on the outside. Changes himself up, tucking behind again. As Schreier, Smart and Mcfarlane now all pit, leaving Dyson as the lone man going longer. Dyson goes another lap. A little bit surprised by that, considering he's had to fight very hard to get himself up the grid to where he's gotten to. And Jamie McKnight goes another lap, and so does Blake Delaney. So some very good driving from some of these wily old drivers. As we continue on, we've got a drive-through penalty for Paul Young with contact with car 110. So that was the incident we'd seen just before. Of course, 110 being Paul Byrne. As we continue on our merry way here, we might jump on, have a look at Paul Young, of course, with the drive-through, and also now thick in the middle of a battle group with Dave Kirby in front, Christian Smart and Cameron Jones behind as we look to go too wide through here. Gets the job done. Still 4 wide. These guys having a ding-dong battle as Andrew Dyson, our race leader, comes in the pit now. You see his back section through turns 8 and 9, very swervy, very wide, tough going. And we come down, we end up going hard into the chicane, into the hairpin. This is just coming up. As Knight's now in the pits as well, so the only person not to stop now so far is Blake Delaney, calling the fuel save king. Sorry, Andrew Hoffman. Oh, a little bit of a tap there. Let's open the door up. Chris Smart, a little bit of a tap there with Paul Young. Opens the door up, allows Cameron Jones to go through. And then brings Dave Kirby into the attack, into the battle. So great little battle of this group here. We might just take the time at the moment just to have a quick look at who's got the best lap time so far in our top 20. We can see Adam Briggs with a 1:30.37 and Blake Delaney, Blake Warboys. Next one with a 1:30.58. John Stone Morris. So the boys after their pit stop as Paul Young comes in for his drive-through. Boys after their pit stop here showing some good pace. Our pole man, Blake Warboy, 6 seconds behind race leader and championship leader Adam Briggs, 5 seconds up the road from Benny Morris. Ben Morris, of course, done very well out of the undercut. He's chasing down Damien Johnstone in front of him. And of course, some good news to everybody out there. My regular co-host, Mark Duggan, will be back next week. Come to the very end of his epic journey and up through Central Australia and Northern Australia. Just needs to blow the dust off the computer to get it fired up, and he'll be back. So really looking forward to having Duggo back. And I'm sure he's probably got some epic stories to tell about his adventures through Central Australia. As Michael Whiting now has just been passed, I think, by Michael Schreier, and Mcfarlane starting to come up behind these boys. There's a few battles around the place at the moment. You might jump onto the next one, which is Michael Brennan, Dave Kirby. Oh! Commentator's curse. Michael Brennan giving a little bit of a tap there. Be interesting to see what the race control's got to say about that. And we'll just continue on. Next battle pack, of course, is Andrew Dyson and Jamie Dyke, with Craig Schultz sitting behind these boys. So Mcfarlane and Dyson are both up 28 spots, running in 8th and 9th respectively here. Just check on our friend Christian Smart. He's now putting all sorts of pressure on Cameron Jones. So these two have been driving fairly close together all night. Epic battle going on. It's one of the things about the East Coast Series that everyone really enjoys is the epic tight battles. And of course, with being round 10, we're not too far away now from kicking off season 4. So season 4, of course, kicks off on the 12th of September from Donington, and then we head to Watkins Glen to the boot, and then round 3 will be, oh, let's get rid of that one. Yes, drive-through penalty for Michael Brennan, which is what we thought might be coming after what we saw before. Then we go into Bathurst, which will be a teams race, which will be a fairly epic battle. Of course, that's going to be run on the 2nd of October. And then after that, we go to Long Beach, doing the full circuit at the Virginia International Raceway. Then to Road Atlanta. Round 7 off to Spa. Then round 8 will be Red Bull, Silverstone. Round 10, we head to Winton. Round 11, Road America. Round 12, Brands Hatch. And then we're going to finish the season off with another team's event with the Sandown 500. So plenty of racing for the boys next season in season 4. And of course, a big shout out to West End Motor Group and DC Shades for coming on board as well with Supercheap Auto again. And Paul Guys and Barrells and WK&P as our sponsors for season 4. And oddly enough, I saw a West End Motor Group sticker on the back of a car this evening on my way home from work, which I had a chuckle about. Just for you, Dave Bordock, I get to drop in the words Aubrey Wodonga. See a West End Motor Group car driving around Aubrey Wodonga was pretty impressive. EC boys still going quite well. Might move a bit further up again. Ladder is still under all sorts of pressure from Michael Schreier. A little bit of lap traffic getting in the middle here as well. We may have a stopped car, or has he got going? I think he's got going. Not sure who that was, but we'll work that one out. Corey Mcfarlane, he's now worked his way up to Michael Whiting, getting past him. Andrew Dyson now the next man lining up on Whiting. Was Michael Whiting the Fishy Motorsports driver? Very wily campaigner. Looking after his tyres and looking after his fuel. Wouldn't be too keen to be boxing away with these two. Definitely not much in this with these guys. Oop. So one of the right boys there a little bit loose. The lap traffic also now starting to become a bit of an issue. Come down into the hairpin. So Dyson having a look at Mcfarlane. And Mcfarlane goes a little bit deep. Dyson breaks a little bit late as well. A little bit of the over-unders. A big battle with these two. Of course, M2 battling has allowed Whiting to get back into the hunt. It's now past the halfway distance on lap 32 of 62. Showing some great paces, Andrew Dyson. Rory Mcfarlane hanging on. Kenny Ladder dropping off the back a little bit. Might just go up the road a little bit. Ben Morris has just put a move on. I think he's just got his way past Michael Schreier. This is a great drive here. Ben Morris leading out the 9.5ers. Getting himself now 5 seconds up the road from from Damien Johnstone. So be looking to knock on the door here if you can close that gap over the next 30 laps. Looking at getting himself on the podium. But the story of the night so far has been this man, our championship leader, Mr. Adam Briggs, having an absolute blinder. Managed to get a reasonable start, get himself up 4 spots. Had a bit of a battle with War Boys there for a little while, but once he got a clear set of heels, he was gone. Which was good to see. So at the moment, Adam Briggs is sitting 8 seconds up the road from Blake War Boys. War Boys, of course, our pole sitter. Obviously got his computer issues sorted, as we talked about in the pre-race show. And he's definitely cracking along, sitting in second spot, and he's 4 seconds up the road from Damien Johnstone. Damien Johnstone now has cleared out and got a bit of clear air around him. And he's 6 seconds up the road from Ben Morris, who we looked at just before, and Ben's now leading this galley of cars as he's got tucked up behind him Michael Schreier, who's having a blinder. Andrew Dyson up 31 spots in 6th. Rory Mcfarlane up 29 spots in 7th. And Michael Whiting hanging on to the back of these guys in 8th. So we might just keep our eyes on this battle pack for a little bit. It's Dyson now having a look up the inside of Schreier. A bit of lap traffic around with this group as well. So expect traffic, I think, to be a little bit to play out with this as we can move forward. Not really a track where you get a good opportunity for a long straight run to get things happening. The drivers will be constantly working. Some different lines being driven there. As this time, Dyson has a look up Morris. Gets the job done. Schreier's having a little bit of a look on the outside now. That's opened the door for Mcfarlane to come inside Schreier. I reckon Michael Whiting will be licking his lips thinking he could come in and have a crack at this as well. Oh! Oh my God! Mcfarlane's hit Schreier. Cannot believe that. Pickles is out. We might go to the Supercheap auto replay. Any man knows about the safety car, it's Michael. McFarlane sludged a little bit left there, not sure. Looks like could have possibly been equipment failure. Gets the tap on. Everyone rolls on. Jamie Dyke gets up the inside in there as well. Looks like we're all rolling. Stephen Vargas had an off track as well. We might have a quick look and see what's happened to Vargas. Looks like he's gone wide again. Got the Briggs and Stratton out. You've already made that stretch of grass, Vargas. And we'll go back to live pitches. So, interesting times. McFarlane and Schreier now out of this battle pack here. So it's left Andrew Dyson to continue on in fourth. Morris trying to hang on a bit. Whiting trying to hang on a bit. Ladder's latched on a little bit closer to this group. But we might just have a bit of a look around now. See if we find another battle pack. We'll check in with Harrison Dengate. Harrison having a great battle with Craig Schultz. This is where Michael Schreier's come back out after everything that's gone down. And McFarlane's back past him already. A little bit of entertainment. Not sure if Race Controller got an opinion on that one. As I reckon Australia's car could be a little bit damaged, looking at the way Craig Schultz got past there, and now Dengate's now lining him up. A little bit of wheel spin there from Dengate, allowing Schreier to get the legs out of the corner. As we go across the start-finish line, starting lap 36 of 62. Clock starting to tick down a bit. Probably start to see some of these boys start thinking about their second stops. Might have a quick look at the pit strategy window. You can see Briggs stopped on 22 with Warboys and Johnstone. Dyson's gone the extra 3 laps. So don't forget, compulsory 2 pit stops in this race. Oh, Warboys using, not Warboys, Dengate using all of the track and then some there. So Pickles Schreier unfortunately letting him past. Oh, Race Control making the call. No further action on that incident between Schreier and McFarlane. Hey, Corey's redressed it on the track. Obviously not too many spots were lost with that. .37, who's that? Darren Shannon. He's out, got the mower going. Looks like he'll be safe and right to roll, so we'll move on, find another battle pack. Jamie Dyke's under a fair bit of pressure now from Corey McFarlane. Michael Schreier's pitted early. I'd say he's got some damage to repair. Jamie Dyke having a good drive here. Michael Brennan on the comms, not sure what's happened there. As McKnight has also entered the pits as well. Seems like an earlier stop for McKnight this time. Might just take the opportunity to go back into these pit strategies here. So some interesting things going on. Jordan Ross on the blower letting us know that Pickles' car, so Michael Schreier's car, was severely damaged. Yeah, a little bit hard done by that incident that we saw. So hopefully Michael can get back out, get going again and get back in the battle. Still a long way to go. Course 38 to 62. And everyone else has still got a round of pit stops to go. So Shreya now sitting all the way back in 20th, which is sure to be a little bit disappointing. Michael Whiting putting sorts of pressure on Ben Morris in front with Kenny Ladder in the battle behind. So these guys have been pretty much nose to tail for most of the race so far. Be good to see Ben Morris from i5 Sim Sports running in the top 10. Taking all sorts of pressure from our leading Fishy Motorsports car in team boss Michael Whiting. Kenny Ladder working his way back up. Down 4 spots from where he started. Whiting having a bit of a look here. Another car stopped. Let's try and see who this is. Andrew Archer facing the wrong way. Manages to go to the infield. Finds a bit of bitumen and gets going again. All safe and sound. And jump back on with these boys. These boys having a ding-dong battle here. Here we go. Big look up the inside from Kenny Ladder on Whiting. Can he get the brakes to hold up? Nicely gets it done. Good respect and smart driving from Whiting. Keeps it wide. Of course, these boys now with the lap traffic pushing up onto the tail of Morris in front. Throw a blanket over these three. Some great driving. And Mcfarlane's now latched onto the back of these guys as well. So it's all about to go off again here. Another bunch of fireworks. And of course, don't forget out in front, our championship leader, Adam Briggs, 11 seconds up the road from Warboys, who's 4 seconds up the road from John Stone. It's our top 3. But sticking where the action is at the moment. So Mcfarlane getting past Whiting. So he's on the move as well. And then we'll jump back to that battle with Ladder. So Ladder still hunting down Schultz in front, Dengate behind, and Morris has dropped back a few spots there. Cameron Jones is up 23 spots, latched onto the back of it. And of course, Andrew Archer, the lapped car in the middle here, nicely tucks out of the way. Another car stopped on track. I think that might be Blake Delaney. Looks like he's got the car going. They'll jump back up to Kenny Ladder. Some good driving by a few of the boys tonight. So we've got Dawson, Stewart and Delaney in the pits at the moment, coming in for their second stops. Okay, following along at home, what's your strategy? Do you go the undercut or do you run this one a bit deeper? That's the question being asked. A few of these guys peeling off early. Who's that? That's Warren Davis in a little bit of trouble as well. Another one mowing some grass out there. As Damien Johnstone comes into the pits. Ben Morris under pressure here from Cameron Jones. But Adam Briggs still doing quite well. As Cameron Jones peels off to the pits there. So Mcfarlane's gone in, Smart's in, Johnstone's in, Cameron Jones is in. So we're starting to see these earlier boys doing the undercut like we talked about. So, you can see how this all plays out. You boys now starting to see having some incidents. Kenny Ladder's been off the track. We might have a quick look what happened to Kenny. But Kenneth coming wide, locks it up, puts it on the gravel, nicely gets control. Starts her up again, safely rejoins and gets back into it. Go back to the live picks. David Nash into the pits. We might just quickly jump down Blake Delaney. A little battle going on here with Nicholas Loveridge. Chris Island. And of course Roy Clark, the man we spoke to before the start of the race from Banter Alliance, sitting in 26th, up 3 spots. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Just in front of Stephen Varga. And David Nash just having a little bit of an exercise. As Whiting, Chastanoof and Young now coming to the pits. We might just jump up a bit further. Position redress by Kenneth Ladder. Contact with 43 on Ben Morris. So we've got a redress being called for there. So I think we did look at that one as well. As Adam Briggs is now on lap 42 of 62. Our leading car that has stopped so far is Damien Johnstone. He leads our 2 stoppers. So you can see he's sitting a little bit further back, just behind Kenny Ladder. In front of Corey Mcfarlane, who's done a similar sort of strategy. But War Boys has peeled in, and so is Jamie Dyke now. But definitely all happening here. Just the boys start to shape up for their second stops. And it's our race leader, Adam Briggs, is now out to a 20-second lead from Andrew Dyson. He's 13 seconds up the road from Craig Schultz. The Dengate battle. So going to be a very interesting. War Boys is now the leader of our 2 stoppers. War Boys sitting in 5th. As this time Ladder and Morris come into the pit. Yeah, Warboy's doing really well here. And Harrison Dengate's now going in. That's just leaving Briggs, Dyson, Schultz out in front. Of course, before this round of pit stop started, Briggs was out to a hefty 10-15 second lead. And Van Anthony missed that one. And Pete Kell, out there. How are you, Pete? Good to see you ticked in again, mate. Jumping in on the Mcfarlane incident that we saw before. Michael Schreier. Calling it possibly a net code. As Adam Briggs, our race leader, goes into the pits. What does Andrew Dyson do? As he comes back down, heading down now to turn 11. Another stopped car on track. I'll just try and have a quick squiz who that is. I think it might be Paul Byrne, I think. He's parked well off the line now, up on the hill. You need to see whether this brings out a safety car. That'll make things very interesting if that happens. We might just...
Put them flags.
That's the word. I believe we are under a yellow safety car situation.
110 hold position. When safety car passes you 110, you'll be clear to...
Yep, safety car is on track. Everyone, a few diving into the pits now. That's going to help Schultz and Dyson out a fair bit as they lead the safety car through pit lane. Richie Barella, of course, out in the safety car. Dyson getting out in front of it, which is interesting. They're all happening here at Sonoma. As Richie, of course. It's the Supercheap Auto safety car out and about. Waiting to pick up our race leader, Adam Briggs. So we might take the opportunity while he picks these boys up to quickly throw to a Supercheap ad. Back in about 30 seconds.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We won't argue.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
And of course, back to live pictures again. Big thank you, of course, to Supercheap Auto for supporting the series and the opportunity of safety car for me to turn my heater on. It's all very cold. I think same story for everyone else elsewhere, I believe. Yep, agree with Pete Keller here as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, we do this broadcast for the love and to support the series. So, as all these boys unwind themselves, and nearly everyone's done a pit stop now, so the old pit strategy, everyone's done their 2 stops. Lap 46 to 62. We're going to be in for an absolute shootout. It will be, I think, quite epic to watch with Briggs, Warboys, Johnston, Dyson working his way up into 4th spot. Starting rear grid, that's a fair effort from Dyson. So looking forward to this one as a few more lapped cars get wound back. So we might just drop in, have a bit of a look and a chat to some of the people we talked about and talked to before the start of the race. Stephen Varga, of course, he has worked his way up, or still in 22nd spot, hasn't gained or lost, but been consistent, doing reasonably well. Corey Mcfarlane has come out after the pit stop that he's just done under the safety car. He's sitting back in 8th, 28th, up 8 spots. And we then move our way up. Jamie McKnight's up 4 spots into 17th. While the Old People's Champion, waving the V8 Vets split 1 flag for us tonight. Having a great drive. And after that, we have the other one we're talking to is Roy Clark. So Roy sitting back in 31st, down 2 spots. Trying to play a bit of catch up to get onto the train here before we go yellow again. Sorry, go green again, sorry. So let's keep an eye on Richie to make sure he doesn't take off on us soon. Feeling we'll be in this lap, I think. So absolutely going to be a ding-dong battle to home. Be no excuse now for people not to have enough fuel. Most of the boys will have some fresh tyres. That'll be interesting to see who's got the raw pace to bring it home from here. Mcfarlane's done another trip down in pit lane. He's exiting pits now. Not sure what the strategy is there with Corey. That was Wallboys doing a fake. Yeah, I'm going to duck down pit lane, see what happens. Bit of a sneaky move from Blake. And we'll just have a quick look at the replay. Brad Doble trying to catch onto the back of the pack. It's got a bit hot with cold tyres. And we've seen Barella, Nash, Coleman all duck into the pits. A few of these boys topping up, putting fresher tyres on. The Michael Schreier fan squad out there telling him to send it. So poor old Michael, after doing so well, qualifying well, sees himself back down the order a bit after having to get the car repaired, but is happily still sitting in 5th. Just need to see if Pickles can lick the samp and send it. So I think the word's coming in. Still sorting it out as we continue on under the safety car. Driven by Richie Barella. Tough little entry here on this pit lane. Wonder whether Richie can stuff it up. So we're now lap 48 of 62, so still got 14 laps to play with. Richie hightails. And lines up pit lane. Job done. A little bit of smoke. Locks the fronts up. Nice work, Richie. As Adam Briggs leads the field now down into the final corner into turn 11. Through the big hairpin. Probably put your foot into it. Goes deep into the hairpin. Holds him back up a little bit. Thought he might have gone as he came around the corner. He's away now, though. We're off. We are back to green flag racing. Adam Briggs leads off Warboys. Johnstone, Dyson, Schreier, Dyke, Whiting. A little bit too wide back there with Dengate. I think that might have been smart trying to push through. As we settle now in to the battle. Mcfarlane getting past Waisley down the back. So a little bit of movement for him. But it's our championship leader in front of our season 1 champion at the moment. Adam Briggs showing plenty of class. Warboys keeping the pressure on. As they clear out from Johnstone and Dyson. Schreier hanging on at the back there in 5th. Yep, some good driving going on. Christian Smart in the thick of the battle, putting all sorts of pressure on Dengate here. Gets it up the inside and nicely pulls it up. Dengate bounces into him. Comes off second worst, which has allowed Jones to have a look as well now. The Jones, Morris, Ladder all lining up on Dengate. You can't afford to make a mistake. And the train is very long behind. Dave Coleman on the radio. Something's happened to him. Not sure. As you can see, there's a great little battle back going on there. Varga on the radio as well. But this is a great little battle here. We might just jump back up. Damien Johnstone. These boys are still battling hard up the front. Johnstone under all sorts of pressure from Dyson. And Warboys hanging on to Adam Briggs. And Johnson hanging on to Warboys. Just shaping up to be an epic finish. There I might say it. I might say we might call it tonight. The top 3, the podium, I reckon we're on for a big finish. Haven't pressed the button for a while. But I reckon this podium is long from decided. And of course, still battling all the way back. Chris Ireland back in 19th is putting all sorts of pressure on Paul Young in front of him. Nick Knight, of course, sitting in front of him in 17th. We've had an incident with Andrew Archer as well. Looks like he's got himself going again though. Blake Delaney and Varga, they're going nose to tail as well. Looks like Vargas has got past Delaney there. And Johnstone now has Dyson all over him. Bouncing around a little bit, but trying to give these guys all the battles as they unfold. And lap 51 of 62. Starting to tick away. Nice defensive line by Johnston there. Manages to latch up. This opens the door up though. Dyson gets up the inside here. This is going to be really interesting now. Dyson gets onto the podium into the P3. Just about. Doesn't quite get it done. And Michael Schreier hanging on to the back of Dyson still. As we come down, Whiting hanging on the back with Dyke. And we jump back to 12th, 13th. Kenny Ladder under all sorts of pressure here from Schultz. and Chastanoof. All these boys fighting very hard to maintain their position in the championship, let alone on the track. Chasty doing really well here. Having a good hard look on the outside. Probably have to yield coming up the hill here. No, not quite. Hangs it on the inside. Of course, road narrows. Still too wide. These boys having a cracking battle here. Sensational. Oh, someone have a big send. I think that might have been Chris Island. Chris Island getting past McKnight there in the background. People's champion. No, he's got himself back in front of it. Real case, don't know where to look at the moment. Good jump on with Chris Island, McKnight. Paul Young hanging out the back of this group. Chris Island now having another look up the inside of McKnight. They still say too wide, hanging tough. Jamie's not going to yield easily. Manages to slice back in front again. Great little battle between these two. Now, of course, Hayden Norris hanging onto the back of Paul Young behind. And we might just jump back up. Check out again. Oh, Island's getting past McKnight this time. Might just stay here for another lap, watching this battle. Old People's champion here, in the thick of it with these young lads. Luckily he's got Paul Young to help him out. Great series, this one. I said entries are now open for round 4, so make sure you jump on our Facebook page, find the links. Sign up. We've already got quite a few drivers signed up, a couple of new teams signed up as well. Looking forward to seeing some of our existing drivers come back. And I think next season will be a cracking season. Of course, with the East Coast Series doing their first Enduro at Bathurst. Should be a real eye-opener for everybody. And we might jump back up the front now. Damien Johnstone and Dyson still going toe-to-toe. Sitting on the back of Warboys. So Warboy's not getting everything his own way, hanging on for second spot. Knight's on the blower. It's gone into the pits, so not sure what that's about. We've got a car off track. I think it's Andrew Archer. I think he's got himself going again, looking at that as we jump back to Warboys. It's lap 54 at 62 now. These guys look like they've settled a little bit. Might drop back into Damien Johnstone. Warboy's getting away a bit. It's these two guys have battled through. As Dyson's got past Johnstone now. This is about to pull away from the battle. Michael Schreier hanging on to the rear of these guys. But Michael under a bit of pressure from Jamie Dyke behind. It's 0.9 behind him. And might just jump back. James Chastanoof, he's still battling away with Kenny Ladder and Craig Schultz. These boys are still battling quite hard. This is the battle for 11, 12 and 13. Harrison Dengate being hunted down by Cameron Jones. Michael Whiting This is going up into 7th now. He's sitting about half a second ahead of Chris Smart. But Warboys and Dyson's where the battle's going to be now, I think, moving forward. This is where the action will be, I think, to bring it all home. So cracking drive from Dyson. As we come around the double apex, and we head back down the hill now through the twisty windy bit, as I like to call it. Boys don't get much of a chance here to drive a straight line and think around this track. Of course, Dyson starting rear of grid up 34 spots here to be sitting in the top 3. We might just go Dyson having a really cracking look here. Oh. Tucked up right behind the WK&P Mustang. See Adam Briggs in the front there, so he's not getting away quickly. He's out to 2 seconds though. Of course, the more these two battle, it's going to bring Damien Johnstone into play. And Paul Burns has just been given a post-race penalty for not holding his brakes during an accident. It's one we see quite regularly pop up from time to time, holding the brakes during an incident. Something that's very important. Holding the brakes, the car then should hopefully stop quickly, stay stationary. You're not rolling into other drivers' way. That's why in a lot of leagues, you'll see that penalty pop up. Try and make it easier for the oncoming traffic to predict incidents, as Dyson has a screeching look up the inside here. Gets it done. Can Warboys come back at him though? That is the question. Warboys now tucks in behind the DPR car. Of course, a lot of these boys did scops on Sunday night. The East Coast Series runs at the back end of the iRacing official series. So you're left in a situation where a lot of these guys have done a lot of laps around here. Looks like Dyson's stretching his legs a little bit. Corey Mcfarlane back in the pits again. It's run lap 57 of 62 now. '28 is that. Ashbarella looks like he's had a spin. Lets himself going again. We'll just quickly check on Michael Whiting. Michael Whiting under a bit of pressure from Christian Smart. Doing relatively well. And another battle pack we've got, of course, is Hayden Norris, Paul Young. All caught up between the two right cars. And we might just jump back up, keep an eye on the battle with Warboys, Dyson and Johnstone. For those playing along at home, Michael Stray is still in 5th position, holding onto that spot. A little bit of a gap to himself and Jamie Dyke behind. So definitely a few things going on here. But the story is Adam Briggs, our championship leader, cruising away 2.8 seconds up the road from the pack we're watching at the moment between Dyson and Warboys Johnstone. These boys are about 2 seconds up the road from Michael Schreier. He's got a nice clear gap. Might just go back down the pack a little bit, have a look at Chris Ireland. Chris Ireland's putting all sorts of pressure on Matt Stewart. Cracking racing been going on all night. These boys have raced hard. Most of the night hasn't been too many incidents. It's just a testament to the calibre of these guys driving, their standards that they all hold amongst themselves. A real credit to watch. As Chris Island now having a really good hard look here on Matt Stewart. But we might just jump back up, check in again on what's going on up the front. Warboys, our P3 man, is now coming under a little bit of pressure from Damien Johnstone, who's half a second behind. And Dyson's cleared out to 1.2 seconds in front of him. And then it's another 2.6 up the road to our championship leader, Briggsy. And, of course, Briggs on lap 59 of 62, about to start lap 60. So the end of this race is coming and coming quite quickly. So, fortunately, safety car took away the opportunity to see how some of these pit strategies were going to play out. Glad a few boys to get an extra stop in. But out of our top half of the field, no one's done 3 stops. Most of them have all done their compulsory 2. And Damien Johnstone having an absolute blinder here. Keeping the pressure on more boys. Of course, this is the battle for the last spot on the podium. Bit of the old gravel there outside. Great standing car on iRacing, the V8s. And really appreciate the throttle control that these top guys have. As we're now on lap 61 of 62, Johnston throwing everything he can at Warboys. No, 0.3 of a second separate these guys. Might just quickly drop back. Kenny Ladder is still battling away. He's 0.3 behind Ben Morris in front of him, so that's another battle we've got going on. This is for 11 and 12. Then we come further up, Dengate in 9th. He's putting all sorts of pressure on Christian Smart in front of him. And yeah, absolutely epic battle going on everywhere. It's great to see. Well, it's probably not the easiest thing too to jump between the Falcon and the Commodore between races like Harrison has here tonight. But he's done a reasonable job to make that work for himself as Adam Briggs starts his final lap. Our race leader having an absolute cracker. Not just leading the race, leading the series as well. In fact, I'd almost go as far now, just about to call him championship elect. Just waiting to see where we sit on the leaderboard, as we didn't have it up this week. Absolute cracker drive from Adam. Looks like everyone's settling down a little bit. This young bloke, fairly newish to the Synergy team, has dominated tonight. Wall Boys started off in front of him on pole. Adam managed to sit behind and just tuck in. And then about halfway through the first stint, decided it was time to drop the hammer. Got past Wall Boys, got it out to a reasonable couple of second lead. Managed to hold that and look after his tyres and his fuel. And now he's going to bring it home in P1. So big congratulations to Adam Briggs from Synergy Sim Sports, Synergy Sim Racing. And second is simrig.com DPR. Andrew Dyson, Blake Warboys rounds out our podium from Damien Johnstone. Michael Pickles Schreier manages to get home in fifth. Great comeback drive after being damaged in an incident earlier on. Jamie Dyke comes home in sixth. Seventh will be Michael Whiting. Chris Smart in eighth. Harrison Dengate gets another top 10. He'd be pretty happy with that, I think. Finishing in ninth. Cameron Jones up 25 spots to 10th. Ben Morris is sitting in 11th. Kenny Ladder in 12th. Chastity Schultz, Ireland, Stewart, Young, Norris, Alan Dawson, Blake Delaney in 20th. Stephen Varga rounds out our top 21. So congratulations to everybody. That was a cracking drive. That was really impressive to watch, and just got to say, I am really looking forward to the next couple of rounds, because the way these guys are all fighting for every spot is an absolute gem to watch. Really enjoying this series as it unfolds in front of us. We might actually take the opportunity now while the drivers get themselves organised, just to throw to a quick ad, and then hopefully when that's done, we'll be back to talk to the drivers.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
So that is another thank you to Supercheap Auto. And what we might do now is we might drag up our race winner, Mr. Adam Briggs. Adam, congratulations on taking out another victory, mate. That was an awesome drive. We've got to be happy with that one.
Yeah, it was good, John. We did Scops on a slightly different layout during the weekend, and I jumped into the quali what would have been yesterday night, and the three different corners threw me for 6. So I was pretty keen to get in there and work hard tonight and work out how to take those corners. The first couple of laps in behind Blake, I kind of worked it out. So yeah, sort of got into a rhythm and went from there.
Yeah, no, it was pretty impressive. Few boys behind you were fairly quick, like Andrew Dyson, and at one stage Corey was up there as well. They were coming pretty quick at you. Did that get into your mind that they had a lot more pace, or?
I don't know if he had a lot more pace. I wasn't exactly. There was times where I wasn't exactly pushing particularly hard. I didn't really know where the rear of grid guys were. But I mean, if you look at the sequence of laps at the end there, Dyson got past Blake, and I put an extra half a second on him after that. My fastest lap of the race is 3/10 faster than him. So I guess it was just a case of perhaps I didn't understand when they're coming that far back. I didn't understand how quick they were actually progressing. But yeah, look, the safety car had a lot to do with that too. So I had a pretty hefty lead prior to that. But that's racing. So yeah.
Mcfarlane got 20 on the first lap.
20 positions, did he?
Yep.
Yeah, well that'll do it. That's impressive. So,
I'm still trying to work out how, but yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at SDK and he said he was where he was and said 20. It's like, okay. Anyway, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, Wave Runner Performance Centre, Posse's Mechanical, Smiths and Sons. Yeah, you've also got Too Easy Finance, West End Mazda, Dr. Epoxy. All the guys at Synergy, they're working really, really hard. Had a couple of messages and a little bit of technical chat with James Scott today as well, which was very, very helpful. So yeah, all those guys, Dave Oliver Photo as well, DM Photography. All those guys really help us out. So thank you very much.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. We might drag up Andrew and have a quick chat to him. Andrew, congratulations on P2, mate. That's one hell of a drive to come from rear of grid.
Hey, mate. Yeah, well, I can't take all the credit. I mean, there was a safety car there, so without that, those sorts of things don't happen.
True. That's true, but you did well, mate. You progressed a fair way up before the safety car, though.
Yeah, I was surprised to come out in 4th there, but I don't know. Maybe a few guys were battling away, and that helped me out.
Yeah, there's quite a few battles through the pack. Of course, we haven't been around for a couple of races, but you're finding that each time you come back, the standard's getting better?
Yeah, absolutely. It's running way smoother. The guys in race control are doing an awesome job at the moment, so it's really cool. Lots of things I've noticed that have improved, and I've only been here one night, so it's a pat on the back to all the guys who are getting this together.
Yeah, it's definitely a good little series, this one. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, for sure. All the drivers tonight, thanks for showing up and having a bit of fun, and all those guys that were courteous and all the guys that raced me hard, love it either way. Congrats to Adam, congrats to Blake as well, and all the other guys at the front there. And yeah, big shout out to Simmings.com, Southwell Listen Hoist, Benmax Mechanical, Southwell Listen Hoist, and Phoenix Smokers. I think I might have said twice, same thing twice then.
That's all right.
Yeah, and thanks to you guys for putting it all on, and obviously yourself for the broadcast, one man show, pretty good effort, man.
Yeah. Normally I'm 2 up, so managed to get it done.
Yeah.
Anyway, I reckon everyone's probably sick of my voice, so we might drag Blake up and have a quick chat to him. Mr. Warboys, congratulations on P3.
Thank you.
Obviously, you got your computer issues sorted.
Yeah, note to self: don't play with settings before a race. But anyway, it is what it is.
So, mate, P3, you got to be happy with that, even though you're on pole. It was looked like it was fairly tough going out there. A lot of hard battling around you.
Yeah, no, pretty happy with that. I think I was starting to get a sort of an understanding of what I need to do to get a good setup now.
That's good,
yeah,
mate.
it's just
Always a
and
battle.
then and now sort of been able to keep on the back of the backs of like Briggsy and that. Yeah, you can sort of see where we're my setups are sort of struggling a little bit now. So it's yeah, heading in the right direction. I think.
That's a good takeaway from the night. And anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
First of all, to WK&P Sim Sports. I think the boys had a good run tonight. Wodonga Karts and Parts, LGK Karts Australia, EKS Karts Australia now as well. Supercheap Auto, WK&P Race Engines. You for putting on another broadcast. It's probably even better without Nathan here. See if he hears me. He just got home. But anyway, yeah, Seb for doing race control, and the boys for some great racing there. Damien was all over me in there, so it was a good race.
Absolutely. It was a fantastic race, mate, and well done. And before I ask my last question for the night, we might just bring in the driver of the day. Driver of the day, Michael Schreier. How are you, Michael?
Yeah, good, mate.
That looked like you had a fairly tough battle in there, and the little bit of an incident you had with Corey made it look like it was a bit harder for you.
Yeah, it definitely was. I was just sitting there, let my teammates through at the start because I know they've had a lot more practice than I have, and I just wanted them to didn't want to get involved in any championship stuff that's going on. Just want to get some laps for the enduros coming up and things like that, and yeah, just get my eye in and found myself qualifying pretty good, and yeah, I thought I could just hang with them at the front there, which was sort of going to plan, and yeah, just got into a bit of a elbows out move down there and come off second best and had a fair bit of damage and just took the fast repair and got back into it.
And of course, as you were in the chat tonight, you were the crowd favourite as well. So plenty of supporters out there, mate.
Yeah, mate. No, I really enjoyed that race. Just very long though. Haven't been used to doing such a long race, and but yeah, definitely got my eye in, and yeah, looking forward to the races to come.
That's good. Next week we're at Monza. So, question to everybody: what's your thoughts on racing at Monza?
I don't mind Monza. It's a pretty draft dependent track, but no, it's good close racing there, and no, looking forward to it. Give it a go.
Got plenty of laps last week in the Logitech G Pro Series in the safety car.
Yeah, sure did, mate. Yeah, just done a couple out laps, and that was about it. But no, I'll get my eye in around there, and we'll give it a red hot go again.
That sounds great. I was going to ask one more question of everybody. So yeah, that's right. Season 4 entries are open, boys. So make sure you haven't already done so. Jump in the Discord and hit the link and fill your paperwork in for that. And yeah, Monza looks like it's going to be a bit of fun for everybody. And I think we might leave it at that and say good night. And hopefully we'll see you all again next week at the same time at 10 to 8 on Tuesday with myself and my usual co-host, Mark Duggan, will be back. So it should be good, and I won't be doing it by myself. Yeah, big thank you to everybody who jumped on and watched. I think we had up to about 20 at one stage there. So if you subscribed and liked as well, a big thank you. And we'll see everybody again next week. Good night all.